Hey everyone and welcome.
Mhm.
Have you ever found yourself saying, I'm just tired way too often?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's practically your catchphrase. Well, you're definitely not the only one.
You're telling me.
In this deep dive, we're going to explore something pretty fascinating.
Oh.
Rhodiola Rosea.
Rhodiola Rosea.
It's
Okay.
this Arctic herb that could be a game changer when it comes to energy levels.
Interesting.
We'll be looking closely at this article called, "This Arctic herb shows great promise in treating tiredness and depression," says top psychiatrist.
Sounds promising.
By the end, we'll see if Rhodiola Rosea really lives up to all the hype and if it's something you should consider.
I'm all ears.
So just being tired is something people brush off pretty easily,
It is.
but constantly feeling fatigued,
Yeah.
that's a whole other story.
Yeah, it can be a real struggle, especially for women over 50.
Oh, really?
Dr. Daniel Amen, a psychiatrist, he's the author of this article we're looking at.
Right.
He says that a whopping 1 in 3 women over 51 say they're battling fatigue.
1 in 3. Wow, that's a lot. Do you think this hits close to home for some of our listeners?
I'd say so, yeah.
I mean, think about everything we're juggling in life. No wonder our energy takes a hit.
Absolutely. And, fatigue can come from a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Stress, not enough sleep, even what we eat.
Right.
But Dr. Amen points out that for women in this age group,
Well,
a big culprit is the hormonal shifts during menopause.
that makes sense.
And it's not just feeling a little drowsy, it's this persistent tiredness that messes with your whole life.
Right. It's not just a minor thing.
No, not at all.
It can really stop you from doing the things you enjoy.
Absolutely.
So this is where Rhodiola Rosea comes in, right?
Could be.
Could this be a solution? Especially for fatigue tied to hormonal changes.
That's what we're here to find out.
Well, Rhodiola Rosea, it's a pretty amazing plant.
It is.
It thrives in tough conditions, like the Arctic.
Oh, wow.
And it's not some trendy new thing either.
Right.
People have been using it for centuries to deal with fatigue and brain fog.
Centuries.
That's a long time.
It is. There must be something special about it.
Definitely makes you curious.
Definitely.
So it turns out Rhodiola Rosea is what's called an adaptogen.
An adaptogen.
These plants basically help your body handle stress better.
Oh, interesting.
Think of it like a shield against everyday stress that zaps your energy.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like giving your body backup to handle everything life throws at it.
Makes sense.
Are there other adaptogens besides rhodiola?
Oh, absolutely.
Ones we might recognize?
You might have heard of ashwagandha,
Oh, yeah.
holy basil,
Right.
or maca root.
Okay, yeah.
They're all getting popular for helping the body deal with stress.
So Rhodiola rosea has quite the resume.
It does.
Adaptogen, used for ages for fatigue and brain fog.
Right.
But what does science have to say? Can it back up all these claims?
That's the big question.
It is.
Dr. Amen highlights 2 main benefits that are backed by research.
Okay, let's hear it.
1, it fights fatigue.
Hmm.
And it boosts both mental and physical performance.
Okay, I like that.
And 2, there's evidence that it can help with mood, make it more positive.
Wow, those are some really promising benefits.
They are.
Let's dig into the research, see what it says about these claims.
Right.
First up, fatigue. What kind of studies have been done?
Well, this one study, it was published in Complementary Medicine Research.
Okay.
It really caught my eye. People in the study, they took 200 milligrams of rhodiola twice a day
Okay.
before breakfast and lunch.
All right.
The results, they were pretty impressive.
Oh.
After 8 weeks, they saw a 53% improvement in their overall fatigue.
53%. That's huge.
Right.
Imagine all the things you could do with that extra energy.
Right. And here's the really interesting part.
What's that?
They actually saw the biggest improvements after just 1 week.
Really? Wow, that's fast. But we're talking about different types of fatigue here, right?
Absolutely.
Not just physically tired, but also mentally drained. That brain fog we talked about.
Exactly.
Did this study look at both?
It did. And they found improvements across the board.
Oh, that's great.
48% improvement in physical fatigue
Wow.
and 44% for mental fatigue.
So rhodiola is a multitasker when it comes to fatigue.
Seems like it.
It's amazing to think something as simple as an herb could have such a big impact on our energy levels.
Right.
How does it even work? What's happening in our cells to make this happen?
Researchers have been trying to figure that out. One study, it was published in Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity,
Right.
found that Rhodiola rosea actually boosts the activity of mitochondria in our cells.
Mitochondria.
Think of them like tiny powerhouses inside our cells that create energy.
Right. Okay.
This study found that rhodiola made these powerhouses 85% more active.
85%? That's a serious energy upgrade for our cells.
It is.
It makes sense that if those tiny powerhouses are working better, we'd feel more energetic overall.
Exactly. And it's not just about the mitochondria.
Oh.
Rhodiola also boosts ATP levels.
Remind me, what's ATP again?
Think of ATP, or adenosine triphosphate,
Right.
as the fuel that keeps our cells going. It's the energy currency of our body.
Oh, I see.
It powers everything
Right.
from our muscles moving to our brains working.
Okay, so rhodiola is basically increasing the production of our body's main energy source.
It is.
No wonder people report feeling more energized.
Makes sense.
Anything else that might explain how rhodiola fights fatigue?
Well, research suggests the benefits might go even further.
Really?
Some studies have shown rhodiola might improve depression, make us more productive, boost our thinking abilities,
Okay.
and even help with burnout.
Wow, that's a lot.
There's still a lot to learn, but the initial findings are exciting.
This is all so fascinating. We can't forget the other big benefit we mentioned. Rhodiola's potential to lift our mood. There's a connection between rhodiola and hormones like dopamine and serotonin, isn't there?
There is. Those hormones, they're crucial for regulating our mood, our energy, and our motivation.
Right.
And Dr. Amen suggests rhodiola might influence these neurotransmitters.
How does that work? How does rhodiola's effect on dopamine and serotonin actually translate into feeling more energized and having a brighter outlook?
That's a great question, and it brings us to some interesting research on the subject.
Okay.
There was this study published in Phytotherapy Research.
Right.
They found that taking 200 milligrams of rhodiola twice a day for just 14 days
Okay.
led to significant improvements in mood.
Interesting.
Participants also saw noticeable drops in anxiety, stress, anger, confusion, and even depression.
Wow, that's quite a range of emotional benefits. It sounds like rhodiola is addressing mental well-being on multiple levels.
Absolutely.
So the research looks really positive,
It does.
but I'm always interested in real-life experiences. Do these scientific findings actually translate into benefits for people in their everyday lives?
That's a great question.
It is.
And it's a perfect lead-in to our next segment. We'll hear from a woman named Becky Blake,
Okay.
who says Rhodiola Rosea changed her life.
That's awesome. I'm excited to hear her story.
Me too.
I bet a lot of people can relate to Becky's story.
Oh, yeah. Especially women going through those tough years of perimenopause and menopause.
It's great to hear about people who don't just give up,
Yeah.
they actively look for solutions.
Absolutely.
So what did Becky do to try and beat her fatigue?
She really tried everything.
Really?
She was determined. She started with the basics,
Okay.
making sure she exercised enough,
Right?
ate a healthy diet. Then she tried some more holistic stuff,
Oh, like what?
IV vitamin therapy,
Okay.
magnesium supplements.
Interesting.
She even tried alternative therapies,
Oh, wow.
hypnotherapy,
Wow.
EFT tapping, acupuncture, Reiki.
She really did try it all.
Yeah, but nothing really gave her the lasting relief she wanted.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Sounds like she was really committed to finding an answer
she was.
and not afraid to try different things.
Not at all.
So what finally led her to Rhodiola Rosea?
Well, it seems like she was doing a ton of research trying to figure out what was causing her fatigue
Okay.
and find a solution that addressed the root of the problem.
Right.
So while she was researching natural remedies, she came across an article about rhodiola.
Okay.
What really interested her was how rhodiola works in the body,
Interesting.
reducing that stress response and increasing ATP production, that vital energy source we talked about.
Yeah, I see why that would be appealing.
Right.
If you're always feeling drained, it's natural to want to boost your energy
Absolutely.
and find ways to protect yourself from the things that deplete it.
Exactly.
So was that the main thing that drew her to rhodiola?
Well, the article also talked about how rhodiola could improve mental capacity and mood. It said that rhodiola might help manage depression and anxiety by lowering cortisol.
Cortisol, that's the stress hormone, right?
Exactly. And it even mentioned that rhodiola might help balance serotonin,
Serotonin.
that neurotransmitter linked to mood regulation.
Right.
And all of that really resonated with Becky's experience.
So she decided to give it a try.
Well, she was cautiously optimistic.
That makes sense.
She found some Rhodiola Rosea capsules,
Okay.
250 milligrams each, for about $12.
Not bad.
And she started taking one capsule around 10 a.m.
Okay.
That's when she usually felt her energy dip the most.
Ah, that's smart.
And when the brain fog would set in,
Targeting the time of day when she needed the most help.
Exactly.
So what happened? Did Rhodiola live up to her expectations?
Well, she said she felt a difference within a few hours of taking her first dose.
Oh, wow.
She felt more awake and alert without needing her usual coffee.
That's great.
Yeah, pretty encouraging, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she was wondering if it would last.
Oh.
Or if it was just a temporary boost.
Yeah, she was a little hesitant at first,
Understandable.
wondering if it was just a placebo effect
Right.
or a fluke.
Yeah.
But the next day,
Okay.
she took her mid-morning rhodiola, and she felt those same positive effects.
Really?
Renewed energy,
Okay.
mental clarity.
So the results were consistent.
It wasn't just a one-time thing.
That must have been reassuring.
It was.
So what happened as she kept taking Rhodiola?
Not only did Becky continue to feel the benefits, but her family and friends started noticing positive changes too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they told her she seemed happier, had more energy,
Okay.
and was more focused.
Always a good sign.
It is.
When other people notice, it really validates that something's working.
Right.
So did Becky stick with the capsules?
Actually, after a few weeks, she switched to a liquid form of rhodiola.
Oh, interesting.
She added it to her morning smoothie.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it was more convenient for her.
I love that there are different ways to take Rhodiola.
Right.
You can find what fits your lifestyle best.
Absolutely.
So what's Becky's overall verdict on Rhodiola Rosea?
She says she's thrilled to have her life back.
That's amazing.
To be able to enjoy her days without feeling constantly drained.
Good for her.
She's even challenging her doctor now,
Really?
who initially dismissed her fatigue as a normal part of aging.
Wow.
At 58, she says she's never felt better.
That's incredible.
It is pretty amazing.
Becky's story is really inspiring.
It is.
It shows that there's hope.
Yeah.
We don't have to accept fatigue as inevitable.
Especially as we get older.
Right. I'm sure some of our listeners are thinking,
Yeah.
this all sounds great, but where do I start?
Probably.
How do I actually take Rhodiola?
That's a great question.
It is.
And that leads us perfectly into the practical side of things.
Okay.
Let's look at how to choose a rhodiola supplement
Right.
and make it part of your daily routine.
Okay, let's get into the details.
All right.
What advice does Dr. Amen have for people who are thinking about trying Rhodiola Rosea?
Wow. Dr. Amen suggests starting with capsules or tablets.
Those do seem the easiest.
Yeah, especially for beginners.
Makes sense. No one wants to mess around with powders or tinctures first thing in the morning.
Exactly. And when it comes to dosage,
Dosage.
the studies we talked about, they used either 200 milligrams or 400 milligrams daily.
Okay.
And usually that 400 milligrams is split into 2 doses.
Got it. So start low and increase if you need to.
Right. It's always smart to pay attention to how your body reacts.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Any new supplement.
Definitely. And speaking of what works best,
Okay.
Dr. Amen also talks about the timing of when you take rhodiola.
Oh, that's interesting.
When's the best time to take it?
Yeah, when?
He recommends taking it first thing in the morning before breakfast.
Okay.
Or mid to late morning when you might be hitting that energy slump.
Hmm.
But it's best to avoid it late in the day.
I could see why.
It can be stimulating.
Yeah, it can mess with your sleep. Okay, so anything else to consider when choosing a rhodiola supplement?
There is.
Are they all created equal?
Not all rhodiola supplements are the same.
Good.
Dr. Amen says to look for products that have a specific amount of active compounds
Okay.
called rosavins and saladrosides.
Rosavins and saladrosides. Those sound important.
They're what make rhodiola an adaptogen,
Ah, I see.
helping your body handle stress better.
Right.
They're also thought to be part of why it fights fatigue and boosts mood.
So if you want a strong rhodiola supplement,
Right.
you need to make sure it has enough of those rosavins and saladrosides.
Exactly what percentages should we be looking for?
Yeah, what should we be aiming for?
Dr. Amen recommends at least 3% rosavins
3%. Oh,
and 1% saladrosides.
okay, got it. Quality definitely matters when it comes to rhodiola supplements. Any brands you'd recommend?
Based on Dr. Amen's criteria,
Yeah?
the article mentions a couple of options.
Okay, let's hear them.
One is Botanica Rhodiola.
The Canica rhodiola.
You can find it on Amazon for about $22.99.
Okay, not too bad.
Another is Vital Nutrients Rhodiola Rosea.
Vital Nutrients, okay.
You can buy that directly from Vital Nutrients for about the same price.
Those sound like good options.
They do.
And I have a feeling you might have one more suggestion.
Well, I do have to mention Dr. Amen's own product.
Right, of course.
It's called Focus and Energy.
Okay, Focus and Energy, part of his Brain MD line.
Yes, this one actually combines rhodiola with other ingredients.
Oh, interesting. Like what?
Things known for boosting energy and focus,
Hmm.
like green tea extract,
Green tea extract. Okay.
ashwagandha,
Right.
Panax ginseng,
Okay.
and choline.
So it's like a super blend for energy.
That's the idea. They all work together.
I like it, a team of ingredients.
Exactly, to enhance your mental and physical energy.
Makes sense. We should probably say we're not endorsing any specific product,
Of course not.
just sharing information.
Right. Based on Dr. Amen's recommendations.
It's always best to do your own research.
Absolutely.
Read reviews, compare different brands
And talk to your doctor.
right before starting any new supplement.
Definitely.
So fatigue, it's a common problem,
It is.
especially for women going through menopause,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to be something you just accept.
Right.
Rhodiola Rosea, it shows a lot of promise for fighting fatigue,
It does.
lifting mood, and just improving overall well-being,
Definitely.
both in the research and in real-life stories like Becky Blake's.
Absolutely.
And while Rhodiola Rosea might be a great solution, it's not a magic cure.
Right.
Things like sleep,
Yeah.
managing stress,
Right.
a healthy diet, and regular exercise.
Those are still crucial.
Absolutely, for overall health and well-being.
It's all about finding that balance that works for you.
Exactly.
As we wrap up this deep dive, what's your main takeaway for our listeners?
I think the most important thing is don't give up on finding solutions if you're struggling with fatigue or low mood.
That's so true.
There is hope, and Rhodiola Rosea might be worth a try. Yeah, imagine having more energy, a clearer mind, a brighter outlook.
That would be amazing.
Those are powerful words to end on.
They are.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us today.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Rhodiola Rosea.
We hope you found it helpful.
Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring.
And remember, knowledge is power.
Exactly, it is.
Right.
Have a good one, everyone.